Okay, hi. Um, right on. Okay. So today we're starting the interpretation of the progressions of the sun. Um, this is to me, this is the most special level of astrology. When it comes to describing it, the mechanics are fairly simple and straightforward. In a way, like transits, we saw a certain amount of timing. We understood the natal chart, and then we understood how to understand the basic character. And so this is, progressions evolve based on how well you know the natal chart and how deeply and how vast you can sense the natal chart. Because you begin to see your natal chart and your basic pattern of your ego and of your circumstances in life. And then you're born with that and you're going to work with that. But from the minute you're born on, there's a part of you that's evolving, that's growing, that's changing inside, that's adjusting. In a way, every day after your life, you're further away from the moment when you're born. So when you're born, you're pure potential, 100% pure potential. But every day afterwards, some of our potential gets cut back, some things change. And by the time we're 7 or 8, we might have 10% of our potentials. But if we could get half of that, we'd be geniuses in today's world. So there's so much to grow, so much to learn, so much to experience. So the progressed sun represents that inner learning, that inner searching, that inner quality that evolves through your lifetime. It's not like you can just define it because it's based on your own experience and your own evolution of your chart. You start with your main pattern. You use that main pattern all your life. You have your body, you have your basic attitudes, basic circumstances, basic ways of thinking, but inside it shifts. Inside there's other qualities that evolve and other things that shift and go along it. So it's what makes us be more, strive to be more, strive to do things differently. It's not enough just to be who we are. We have to add something. We have to get a new experience. We have to understand something. We have to grow. So this process of growing is the progressed sun. It's like growing from birth till death. And it's what is it in us that grows? We get all the experiences of life, all the transitory challenges and transitory experiences. But what is it that, just double checking, retrograde. Yes, okay, okay. So what is it that is what builds up your confidence? So like we have our outer circumstances and situations, but as the transits move on, the world changes around us. We have to adjust. We have to juggle to it. We go through our ups and downs, and we have accentuations coming in different areas of our chart as our life evolves. We see that by transits. So you have to have the sense of your natal chart. You have to understand it deeply, and then be able to see what challenges out in the world, transitory challenges that you've taken, how you've risen to your occasion, to timing, and how you've lived up to that timing. So that's the transitory stuff, but the progressed stuff is the inner you inside of that we are searching for. So in a way you could say it's just the inner you searching, but in another way, it's the soul absorbing. And so the soul's absorbing the experience and how you're growing in it. So you can see it like that. But I think it's the inner theme of your confidence, sun being your confidence and your purpose in life. It's the other thing, there's more than this, or something else, or something else. There's this inner theme that drives us forward. So this quality, can't define it in a word, can't define it in a sentence, but it's a quality that you can feel, and you grow into your progressions. I mean, you can look and measure them when you're 20, but you can't fathom them. They only begin to become more apparent and seeable. And you can be sure you're seeing it, you can know it, you can know all these things, but you can't interpret it the same way you interpret transits. It's different. You become it. And often you look back and you're seeing it as you're looking back. Oh, look at that face. Oh, look at that face. And then you wonder about the one you're in now and where you're going to. It's not like you're defining it's exactly this. Because you're talking, the sun changes signs 30-year phases. You only get three and a bit of these phases in a lifetime if you live long enough. So there's a growing, there's a searching, there's an unmeasurable amount thing happen, but there is this theme, the qualities of that sun and what goes through in the 90 days after you're born. That's those are the steps you're inwardly taking across your life. Really, it can be said so that when you die, you don't come back to the same chart and end up in an endless loop. You've grown and you've added something to your consciousness, to your being, which is measured by the progressions, so that by the time you let go of your body and you're ready to change bodies, there's a different you. You're not going to get the same body. It will have evolved to the next body that you need. Or to the next life, or to wherever you're going. So it's just that life, this is the part that's not so much an atheistic approach to life would deal with transits, and it can deal with transits, a psychological atheistic viewpoint. It's enough to work with progression and with natal chart and transits. But then just this mundane or basic worldly side using the transits, if you take the logic of transits and you apply it in the same way of thinking to progressions, you're going to miss the boat with it. You're not going to see it. So the like solar arcs, so takes the progressed sun, but then moves the whole chart that way and gets so many things happening, so many aspects happening, and so many things happen in the same sequence as your chart. But when it's interpreted, it's, oh, this is there, this is there. It's interpreted like the same. Oh, this connection's there, so you read into that connection. It's interpreted as if it's generally as it like they're like more transits, there's more things to talk about. It's not. There's an inner quality to the progressions, inner quality to finding your confidence, or for living up to your purpose, or for growing in the way you're supposed to growing, or negatively for going through phases where you're not. I mean, the soul is going to gain the experience, whether it's positive or negative, it's still going that direction. But you can be working with your inner theme or going against it. And if you go against it, problems can build up, or things can seemingly stall, or really sometimes things can sit there for a long time, and it takes a long time to work through things. With the sun, everything goes straight forward, it's direct, it's going, starts from the point it's going, it's moving a degree a day, and it's moving along around the zodiac, and it's going to go through the signs of the zodiac. It's going to touch certain stars, it's going to touch certain planets, it's going to make certain aspects to your chart. It's going to hit the aspects to your chart. It's going to go through certain houses, go across one angle, maybe, probably. And there's all these stages that you go through in it. There's so much going on when you're first born. It's hard to interpret progressions for someone just born. You can see them, and they often show in physicality or things going on within it. But the evolution of things through the progressions, it's an inner theme that affects the outer. So sometimes this inner theme, if you catch it right, it gives the extra healing emphasis, the extra confidence within to get someone to be striving to go forward, even in a difficult situation. Okay, so you can't teach progression without seeing how it personally shows. This whole next 5 to 10 classes about me showing how progressions have worked for me and how it means for me and how it's evolved for me. And you're expected to, once seeing that, take your chart and go through the same steps and see what it means for you. Okay, and you're expected to do this work, and we're not, there's not an ability to check out if you're doing it or have done it or anything at this level. There's exams at the end of this level, and then there's the case studies, and then the advanced case studies using transits and progressions and working the two together. But right now, we're just going to work on progressions on this development of this thing. When your sun, it's your purpose, it's your inner confidence. It's how your confidence grows, what it's going to deal with. It's the inner challenges that come up within your life. And this timing is different than the timing of the transits. So you can have Saturn on your midheaven, it's supposed to be the peak of your life, but if your progressed sun is low in your chart, you may not make as much of it as someone else who has the sun, progressed sun, and the up on the midheaven at the same time as Saturn. So there's many ways this can go. Right now, we've got to go, because we've slowed down time, we're looking at 3 months as if it's a lifetime. And we're going into these 3 months really deeply, really specifically to try and see the implications of these things. They kind of end up representing standards that you're trying to live up to as you go along, or themes that are going on in your life within. And sometimes progressions are tied up through interconnections to other people as well. So we have all the planets, all the different levels of consciousness to go through to see how they progress. And even then, there's other layers that you can progress, other things you can do to get more information, but this is enough for right now. So along here. Okay, so this is just a closer view. It's my chart, and there's my sun in Libra, and you can see the 90. I just put this up till it goes to the end of Capricorn, so that would be up to about 97. And if I go further, I may make it to Aquarius. But it puts the circle. This is a way to mark it in your chart. You put the sun line up to the sun, you put a line around your chart for 90 degrees. You got it. And then you'll notice when it crosses each house cusp, and crosses the third house cusp early, goes through the third house, goes into Scorpio, and go along. It's going to conjunct Jupiter, Mercury, Mars. It's going to go along, conjunct the IC and Venus. And it's going to go along through Sagittarius, from the fourth house into the fifth house, and I'll be in the fifth house the rest of my life, and in Capricorn. So that's the main theme of it. So the Libra me at 7 is going to be a shift that goes into the Scorpio. It's going to add a more Martian rulership. It's going to add that Scorpio quality to the Libra. So really from 7 to 37, I don't know if you call it sexual or trust or intensity or having to get experiences or the passionate things, judgmental things, those were very strong factors in my life. I had a lot of difficult things happen to me and I had to work through them. And that was normal to me. It was a great insight to us. I realized it's not normal to other people. Other people have different spectrums. But Libras will go through the Scorpio 30-year period, starting at different ages. And then it went, but in that it's going all down, going down until it hit my IC. It hits my IC at the end of Scorpio, then over my Venus. That's a big thing. Then it's going to go forward and on. And then as it does, it's going to touch certain stars. Okay, so that's the, this is even closer. I'll blow it up even more, because inside of this, you'll see the red lines mark the divisions for the pentans, which are put inside, but you can't see them that clearly here. They're there more by color. But you have the pentans every 5 days. So you get your 30-year phases, but you're going to get your 5-year phases or pentans working within that. So you're the sign that you are, and you're evolving the sign that the progressed sun's going through. And you're inside of that, there's a sub-theme of how you're working on something within 5-year focuses. Okay. And then at the same time on this one, you'll see the purple lines, and the purple lines are every 6 degrees, and they represent the vision for the I Ching hexagrams and the themes of the hexagrams and the ideas of the I Ching and the philosophy of that, how you're learning some of those things and you're absorbing those experiences as it goes along. All of it's like the sun's accumulating experience. It's gathering information. Each degree, it's sucking up whatever's in that degree and gaining it into your own personal experience. It's far more than what you can just define, but you can tune in. And if you tune in at the right time, sometimes it's just really magical what you can see. You know, sometimes you look at a natal chart and someone's got told they got cancer and got 6 months to live, and you look at the natal chart and it's getting worse and worse and worse, and you say, yeah, so you look at them and what are you going to say? Kiss it goodbye? No, you have to switch gears and say, and focus in on, yeah, these difficulties are there, but here's what your soul's going through. Here's what your inner part is going through. Here's what you're figuring out or how you're growing through this. So from the view of the progressed sun, everything's a spiritual test. And in a way, it's perhaps a process of evolving and detaching from the world and getting more and more spiritual till we're ready to let go of our body. You could look at it like that.